Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Anchor MMA back, and today we have my 2026 champions in the top 5 of every weight class. Let's get right into it. Starting off with flyweight. Hold on, I gotta move this out of the way. Starting off with flyweight. We're going to go with Kyoichi Horiguchi at number 5. Pretty understandable. I don't think they'll push him too much since Pantoja did lose. But I think he'll be in that top 5. They'll push him just enough to where if Pantoja gets the belt back, he will be in that title picture. Number 4, I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno. I think he's going to have a solid year. No high expectations. Because he loses to everybody above him, realistically. He gets dominated by everybody above him. But number 4 is a pretty good spot because you know they're not going to push him outside of the top 5. They love him too much to do that. Number 3, I'm going to go with Joshua Van. This one hurts my soul to do. It really does. I love Joshua Van, but I think he's going to lose the belt, and you guys are going to find out who he's going to lose his belt to. But, yeah, I'm sorry, Joshua Van, if you're watching this. Number 2, I'm going to go with Alexandre Pantoja. I don't think he's the same fighter after he comes back, but I think he's going to be at the point to where he recovered and he's available to fight again, and they're willing to match him up. And so I think they're going to keep him at the top of the division, so I'm going to put him number 2. Number 1, I'm going to go with Tatsuro Taira. I think at this point, like right at the end of 2026, I think he'll be next in line to fight the next person I'm going to talk about, and that's why I have him at number 1, because he's about to challenge for the belt. But the champion, obviously, as you can tell, Manel Kape, I think he slimes out everybody in the division right now. I think he's going to dominate. As long as he stops pulling out of fights and stays healthy, I think Manel Kape will be super dangerous for the UFC. And I think he'll be a champion for a decent amount of time. But next we're going to move to bantamweight. Starting off with number 5, I'm going to go with Peyton Talbot. You know, they're going to push him up in the division, and I don't know why they wouldn't. Peyton Talbot's definitely skilled. He's got a good market. He's pretty popular, especially since he's got that whole thing with Frank Ocean. But, yeah, I really think they're going to push him up. Maybe he doesn't even deserve to be ranked top 5, but I think they'll put him there because why wouldn't they? Number 4, unfortunately, I'm going to go with Mario Bautista. He's a good fighter, and I hate to say it. He looked really good against Umar. He did. He gave him a pretty good test. That's why I say he's going to go into the top 5, because I think he's better than everybody below him. I think he beats Peyton Talbot. But, yeah, unfortunately, Mario Bautista is going to be at the number 4 slot. Number 3, I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley. He doesn't win the belt back, but he still stays in that title picture. But I think everybody above him beats him pretty handily, pretty comfortably. But I think he'll get a title shot in 2026. Number 2, I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili. I don't really need to explain myself here. He was a super dominant champion. I don't think he'll get the belt back, but I think they'll keep him definitely top 3 for a long time now. And he'll stay active, and he'll be fun throughout the next few years because I think he'll stay in the UFC for a while. Number 1, I'm going to go with Petr Yan. Yes, he does lose his belt towards the end of the year, kind of, and I'm sure you can guess who at this point. But that's a toss-up for me. I think it could go either way. Petr Yan easily could end 2026 as the champion. That would not surprise me at all. But for the champion, I'm going to go with Umar Nurmagomedov. He fought incredible against Merab, but Merab is just Merab, you know. I mean, not much else to say. I think Umar wins in a rematch even, especially since Merab isn't on that super high that he was with all those title wins and all of that. So I think Umar's going to end the year as the best bantamweight because I think he is the best bantamweight. Next we'll move to featherweight. Number 5, I'm going to go with Lerone Murphy. I don't think he's as good as people say, unfortunately. I like Lerone Murphy, but I think he'll lose to like an Evloev or something, and he'll drop quite a bit, and he'll kind of get forgotten about because he's not super marketable. His personality isn't great. His character isn't great. So that's why I got him at number 5. At number 4, I'm going to go with Aljamain Sterling, unfortunately. Aljo is incredibly boring, but I think he's a good fighter, and they got to have him in the top 5 because I think he'll prove himself. Ortega was a pretty good win. But, yeah, I think they'll push him into the top 5. Number 3, I'm going to go with Diego Lopez. This isn't like a crazy take or anything. Diego Lopez is a killer. I think he'll stay in the top 5 for almost maybe the rest of his career. Definitely top 10 the rest of his career. Because he puts on wars. He's a fun fighter. He's marketable. Obviously, they want him to be the champion. So I got Diego Lopez at 3. At 2, I'm going to go with Arnold Allen. I think Arnold Allen is going to beat Gene Silva and really put himself into the title picture. He's been out with a lot of injuries lately, and that's why I think people kind of underestimate him and forget how good he is. But Arnold Allen is a killer, and I think he will fight for the title somewhat soon. And number 1, I'm going to go with Movsar Evloev. Evloev he's ranked 1 for a reason currently. I think he beats Lerone Murphy, and I think he gets I think he fights Volk by the end of the year. I do. But the champion is not Volk. I'd say the title's vacant. Volk retires towards the end of the year, and I think going into 2026, they have a vacant fight set up, and I think it'll be Arnold Allen versus Aljamain Sterling. But I think that's understandable. Volk is definitely going to retire soon. I don't think he'll retire after the Diego Lopez fight, but I think he'll fight Movsar Evloev, win, cement his legacy, and retire. And the title will be vacant. I think Arnold Allen is the champ. The first champ at featherweight in 2027. I know a lot of you might disagree with me, but honestly, I think Arnold Allen's a killer. The lightweight, this is where things might get a little crazy. Obviously, featherweight was a little crazy, but number 5, I'm going to go with BSD. BSD, people just think about old BSD. People need to realize how much of a marauder he is and how he's just been killing dudes, killing people on his way back up. And he's very improved and very impressive. Number 4, I'm going to go Charles Oliveira. I don't see a world where he ends his career outside of the top 5. He'll always be skilled. He'll always be like the top 5 test like he did with Gamrot. I always think like Charles will stand a chance against anybody. That's why I got him at number 4. Number 3, I'm going to go with Arman Tsarukyan. Yes, he drops a little bit. I'm not saying he loses necessarily, but I don't think he fights for the title at this point. And the people ahead of him, I don't think you can put behind him. Because number 2, I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett, and that's because you're going to see why in a second. But Paddy Pimblett's skilled. I think him versus Arman is a really good matchup, grappling-wise, and there's a little bit of beef behind that, so I would love to see that fight. But number 1, I'm going with Ilia Topuria. Yes, he's not the champion because he vacates, and that would make Paddy be the champion. because he's gonna win this fight against Gaethje, and Ilya's gonna either vacate on his own power or they're gonna force him to vacate. They're gonna strip him because I don't think he fights in 2026, and the champion is Max Holloway. I truly believe that Max Holloway can be the champion. He might be the best he's ever been right now. He's put on so many impressive performances. Even his fight against Ilya, that is easily the toughest test Ilya has ever had, and he's faced Charles and Volk. Max is unbelievable, and I think he beats everybody at lightweight except maybe Ilya Topuria. I would love to see that fight get ran back, and I think at the end of 2026, Max will be the champ, and whenever Ilya is ready to come back, I think he will immediately get that fight against Max Holloway. Welterweight, number 5, I'm going to go with Kamaru Usman. I think he gets the title shot towards the end of the year, and I think he loses, pretty convincingly. That's why I have him at 5. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's ever been that good, and I think Islam is going to show that, kind of expose him a little bit. This might be a hot take, but I think Kamaru Usman looked like such a dominant champion because he was in a terrible weight class for years. He got KO'd by Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards was the champion of this division, and then Bilal Muhammad. I feel like that shows where this division was at for multiple years, and that's why I think Kamaru Usman is super overrated. But number 4, I'm going to go with Carlos Prates. He will definitely be in the title picture. Him fighting soon. They got to put him in the top 5 because I think he'll sleep a top opponent like a Michael Morales. I would love to see that fight, and I think Prates wins that one. Number 3, I'm going to go with Ian Machado Gary. I think he does get the title shot, and I think he gets it before Kamaru Usman. And I think he loses, but obviously closer than Kamaru Usman. I think Ian Gary is a really good fighter. He's just not on Makhachev's level, realistically. But yeah, that's why I have Ian Gary at 3. But Jack Della Maddalena is going to be at the number 2. Jack Della Maddalena is a killer, and people are going to forget that because he just got absolutely dominated and embarrassed by Islam. But Islam is my GOAT. He is the greatest fighter of all time, in my opinion. So that's not embarrassing. I mean, it is because he was crying, making sad faces, but Jack is an incredible fighter, and I think he'll show that by getting good wins. Maybe over a Prates, maybe over, I don't even know. But I think Jack Della Maddalena beats mostly everybody in the division. Number 1, I'm going to go with Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think he'll be up next to fight Islam Makhachev in 2027. This is long overdue, Shavkat fighting for the title, but for good reason. I mean, he just can't stay healthy. He can't stay active. He hasn't fought in so long, but Shavkat, regardless, undefeated, he's a killer. I don't think he gets fluked. He's already fought Ian Gary. That's a good win. I know it was on short notice, but that's still a good win. But the champ stays Islam Makhachev, as I was kind of pointing to. Nobody beats him the rest of his career. I mean, Islam is the GOAT of the sport. I think he beats Ilya. I think he beats Shavkat, Prates, anybody. You might be asking, where's Michael Morales? I think Michael Morales is a bit of a fraud, and he'll get KO'd by somebody like JDM, Prates. I think everybody in the top 5 except for Kamaru Usman would beat him, and that's why I don't have him in the top 5. But up next, we got middleweight. Number 5, I'm going to go with Caio Borralho. I think he's incredibly overrated, and Caio Borralho is not as good as everybody thinks. Oh, he's the leader of the fighting nerds. I think that's why he'll be 5, is because they're going to push him up in the rankings after he loses, and get him to number 5 after a win at some point in 2026. Number 4, I'm going to go with Brendan Allen. he had a really impressive performance against RDR. Nobody can hate on that on short notice against, what was he at the time, 4, 3, something like that. Top 5 in the division. Brendan Allen, it honestly really impressed me, and that's why I think he'll stay in the top 5, but not be too high. I think he'll stay at number 4. Number 3, I'll go with Nasruddin Imavov. I think he gets finished by Khamzat Chimaev, but I think he finds time to eye poke him in the process. Nasruddin Imavov is not that good in my opinion, but I think he does deserve the shot against Khamzat right now, because the person I have towards the front of this list is a better fighter for Khamzat. He's a better fighter in general, but he hasn't got that last win to cement him to get that title shot. Number 2, I'm going to go with Dricus du Plessis. I don't see him falling out of the top 5 anytime soon. Dricus is incredibly skilled. He just unfortunately got matched up against Khamzat Chimaev, which sucks for him. It really does. But I think Dricus, incredibly skilled. I don't know why he'd move down. I think he beats everybody below him. Number 1, I'm going to go... Oh, wow. Holy stutter. Number 1, I'm going to go with Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. And that's not because I think he'll fight Khamzat. I think he'll fight Khamzat in 2027. And I'm really fence-sitting that fight, because I think Anthony Hernandez is incredibly skilled, and I think he could get it done, quite honestly. He's a killer. If you saw his fight against Roman Dolidze, that was one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen. Dominated him at every single facet. And Roman Dolidze is a top 10 level middleweight. That's unprecedented. And obviously, as I kind of pointed to, Khamzat Chimaev will end the year as the middleweight champion after defending his belt one time versus Nasruddin Imavov. Light heavyweight, this is where things are going to get a little shook up here. Number 5, I'm going to go with Jan Blachowicz. I think he'll fight a Jamal Hill. I think he'll beat him. Maybe that'll be his only fight this year. Maybe he'll lose after that. He's just not going to beat anybody above him. We all know that. Maybe he'll draw for all we know, but Jan Blachowicz is a good test to get into the top 5, if you ask me. Number 4, I'm going to go with Volkan Oezdemir. He's a really good fighter. I think he's definitely top 5 material. He shows a lot of good in his game. He just killed his last opponent within the first minute. He just murdered him. But Volkan Oezdemir, incredible power, incredible fighter. I think he easily deserves to be top 5, and I think number 4 is the perfect spot for him. But number 3, I'm going to go with Khalil Rountree. Obviously, he could fall off this year. He's taken so much damage from Pereira, from Yuri Prohaska. That Yuri fight, incredible fight. But Khalil Rountree just needs to learn to not gas out, because Khalil Rountree would be in the position that Yuri is in right now. He was winning those first 2 rounds. He was looking good. He's not gonna get a finish against a Yuri Prohaska, because Yuri has an incredible chin. That just shows you how great Alex Pereira is for knocking him out. But Khalil Rountree had an absolute masterclass performance against Yuri Prohaska, but he gassed out. That's the only reason he lost. If he gets that better gas tank, preserves a little bit of energy, he wins that fight. Number 2, I'm going to go with Carlos Ulberg. I don't think he beats Yuri. I don't think he beats Alex. I don't think he beats guys up in that division. I feel like, Carlos Ulberg's a good meh. Like, he's not somebody you're looking forward to watch fight, and I don't think he beats these super exciting guys. Like, yes, he slimed out Dominic Reyes, but Reyes has been on the decline ever since that John Jones loss, and everybody knows it. But number 1, I'm going to go with Yuri Prohaska. Yeah, I feel like this is self-explanatory. Yuri's an absolute monster, and I think he beats everybody in the division except for this person who's the champion. And the champion might come as a surprise to you. Some people might be like, oh, it's got to be Ankalaev. Nope. Yeah, I'm going to go with Almabayev as the champion. Almabayev is a killer. And I honestly think him versus Yuri is the dream matchup. Oh my goodness, that's fireworks. Fireworks. I would love that fight. That's my dream fight for this weight class in 2026. I would love to see that. That would be such a fun fight. And I think Almabayev definitely could win that fight. And that's why I have him as the light heavyweight champion at the end of 2026. And I think Magomed Ankalaev is going to fall off and go outside of the top 5. Honestly, you could slip him in the 5 spot instead of Jan Blachowicz. I wouldn't hate that, but all of Ankalaev's confidence is gone, and you can just see it, honestly. So I think Alex moves up to heavyweight, but number 5, I'm going to go with Jailton Almeida. He'll stay where he is. UFC doesn't want to push him up because that fight against Volkov was ugly. It really was. Nobody really wants to see that, and that's why I think they're going to keep him where he's at, even though he won that fight. Number 4, I'm going to go with Sergey Pavlovich. Pavlovich he's still a really good fighter. Yes, he's not the same since that Tom Aspinall fight, but he's still a top 5 fighter. He's still got that KO power. He's still incredible. Number 3, I'm going to go with Cyril Gane. He loses his next fight. I promise you that. No matter who it's against, he loses his next fight. And honestly, I think he gets finished no matter what. Number 2, I got Salsa Boy, Waldo Cortez Acosta. That's my guy. He's going to be the first person to fight for the belt in 2027. Mark my words right now. But number 1, I'm going to go with Tom Aspinall. He beats everybody behind him in dominant fashion. I think he finishes Waldo. I think he finishes Gane. Finishes Almeida. He beats everybody else in the division, but Alex Pereira is going to move up and finish Tom Aspinall. He will. He's going to knock him out in the later rounds, and Tom Aspinall is going to be... I don't know if it'll be the eye surgery. That'll be the coat. It's the eye surgery. That's why he got knocked out. I think Alex Pereira will be a triple champ. I think he will be a top 5 fighter of all time. Undeniable at that point. Alex Pereira is incredible. And, I got a little bonus for you guys. I'm going to give you guys my top 15 pound for pound by the end of the year. All right? Number 15, I'm going to go with Yuri Prohaska. I think he fights for the title in 2026, but I don't think he wins. Or if he does win, I think he loses it right after that. Yuri's incredible, and I think 15 is a good spot for him. 14, I'm going to go with Joshua Van. He was the champion, and I think he gets knocked out by Manel Kape, but I still think he deserves a spot in the top 15 because he was the champion. 13, I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili. Once again, same as Joshua Van, was a good champion. You can't really say that about Van yet, but Dvalishvili was a great champion. He still deserves to be in the pound for pound because of what he did and who he beat. But 13 is a good spot for him. 12, I'm going to go with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yes, he's going to fight for the title soon, and that's the main reason. He'll still be undefeated, and I think he deserves a spot in the top 15 pound for pound. 11, I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett will be a champion in 2026, but he will lose it. But I think that granted him a spot in the pound for pound ranking at number 11. I think that's a good spot for him. 10, I'm going to go with Piotr Jan. He deserves 100% top 10 pound for pound, but he will lose, and that's why he'll drop. But I could see you having him higher even if he does lose his championship. But at number 9, I'm going to go with Almabayev. He'll be the light heavyweight champion, so I feel like number 10 is a good spot for him, and you'll see why once we get kind of up this list. But number 8, I'm going to go Tom Aspinall. Even though he does lose his belt, I think he deserves a spot in the top 10 for sure, and I would even put him above Almabayev because Tom Aspinall is a killer, and I think if Almabayev moved up, Tom Aspinall would smoke him. So that's why I think they would have him at number 8. Number 7, I'm going to go with Umar Nurmagomedov. He'll be the bantamweight champion at the time, and so I feel like that's a good spot for him. At number 6, I'm going to go with Manel Kape. He's going to be the flyweight champion. He'll have KO Joshua Van, and he'll show why he deserves a spot all the way up there. At number 5, I'm going to go with Max Holloway. He'll be the lightweight champion, and he's already in the pound for pound right now, so I feel like 5 is a good spot for him. At number 4, I'm going to go with Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat is just Khamzat. I don't think he'll move from where he's at. Number 3, I'm going to go with Ilia Topuria. He will not be the champion at this time. It'll be vacant, but he'll still be undefeated. He'll still have that champion. We'll all know he's the champion in our hearts at the time, but that's why I have him moving down one spot, because Alex Pereira is going to be a double champ, and that's why he deserves number 2, because he'll be the second best fighter on the planet, because Islam Makhachev exists. I mean, this is perfect. This is a perfect list. You can't tell me it's not. Absolutely perfect list. If you disagree with anything I said, please let me know in the comments below. This one took a while, but I know I've been away for a while, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Life's been getting in the way, been on break, been going through some stuff. So it's good to be back. Subscribe, comment down below, like the video, and you guys have a great day.